Dear students, today we are going to discuss vibration analysis of a continuous system. So now let us recall the concept of continuous system that we had learned prior to the beginning of vibration. Continuous system is a system where mass and elasticity is distributed evenly. Here the topic that we are going to discuss today is first one, transverse or lateral vibration of a string. So for a string, continuous system means mass and elasticity is distributed evenly throughout the entire string. If suppose I consider some system, so there continuous system is mass and elasticity is distributed evenly throughout the system. These are the ideal conditions. Now lateral vibration of a string. This is the equilibrium condition. Fixed end, two fixed ends, ideal or equilibrium condition of a string. This is y-axis normally we call, and this one is x-axis. So prior to the vibration analysis, let me should have some assumptions. The first one, vibration of this string is in the xy plane itself. First assumption. Second one, when the string deforms, at that time gravitational force on any particle is very less compared to the tension which is present at that particular point. Now I represent tension as F. Let us say the deflection of this string is like this. Okay. Now I will take one elementary strip here. I represent elementary strip as a large body. It is a very small body, minute body we are considering, but to see it I have presented like this. Now the gravitational force is downward and it is mass into acceleration. Mass into acceleration. The tension which is present is like this. Now the length of this particular elementary strip is dx. So now let us see the first angle, that is angle between the line which is parallel to x-axis or horizontal line passing through the elementary strip and the tension F. So this angle is theta 1. So what is the value of theta 1? Theta 1 is equal to partial differentiation of or tan theta 1. Let us say tan theta 1. Tan is this much, that means the opposite side divided by adjacent side. So opposite side is del y by del x. Okay, so on the other side I can say theta 1 is, that implies theta 1 is del y by del x. Now theta 2, these angle theta 2, theta 2 is equal to theta 1 plus del theta 1 by del x dx. Del theta 1 by del x dx. Now let us resolve the tension force F in vertical direction, because gravitational force is in the vertical direction, in downward direction. So when we are resolving this force, we have sine component. So F sine into theta 2, F sine theta 2. So it is theta 1 plus del theta 1 by del x dx, sine component, and here the force, as it is towards negative y direction, minus F sine theta 1 is equal to, it is being balanced by the mass into acceleration. Now the string is having density rho. It is equal to mass per unit length. Okay, so mass per unit length is dx. So mass into acceleration is, mass will be replaced by rho into dx. So gravitational force is rho into dx, where rho is the density of the string, dx unit length, into acceleration, that is t square. Second order partial differentiation of the y with respect to time. Now when we open the bracket, it will become f sine theta 1 plus f sine del theta 1 by del x dx minus f sine theta 1, that is equal to rho dx del square y by del t square, f sine theta 1 minus f sine theta 1. Okay, so therefore f sine del theta 1 by del x, it is being written as del theta 1 by del x dx is equal to rho into dx del square y by del t square. Now theta 1 is equal to del y by del x, so put it here. So these equation will become f del 2y by del x square dx is equal to rho dx del 2y by del t square dx, it will be nullified. Therefore f by rho, or rho by f, I can write it rho as a denominator. Therefore f by rho is equal to del 2y by del t square del 2y by del x square. So this is nothing but c square. Therefore c c square is del 2y by del t square del 2y by del x square. So what is c square? C square is f by rho, or in other words, c is equal to square root of f by rho. So here c is wave speed, and this is called one dimensional wave equation. One dimensional wave equation, and this is called wave speed. Okay, now we will use this or we will further analyze to find out the solution. Now the solution of the y as a function of x and time must be such that the functional form that we are getting is satisfying the second order partial derivatives of x and time both. So let us assume first one is fx and second one is gt, function of time. Now we have seen wave equation. Here the second order partial differentiation with respect to time, So g double dot I can write as d square g by dt square and del square second order of y with respect to x, partial differentiation with respect to x. So f double dash is d square f by dx square. Okay, so let us write the wave equation in this format. So wave equation c square is del square y and del t square. So it is f g double dot f as it is divided by f double dot g. Therefore g double dot upon g is equal to f double dash c square divided by f. Okay, now let us assume this as mu. Why it is to be assumed as mu? The reason is very simple. G double dot upon G is equal to mu. So these equation will be G double dot minus mu G is equal to 0. Now when I compare this with these equation, x double dot plus k by m x is equal to 0. This is nothing but omega square. So minus mu is equal to omega square. So here the first equation is g double dot plus omega square g is equal to 0, and likewise we can have the second equation f double dash here omega square, and for f double dash it is here also we can form such type of equation f double dash minus f by c square mu is equal to 0, and here this is nothing but the frequency. Okay, sorry, not mu, mu. So minus mu by c square, here it should be written like this, f double dash minus mu by c square f is equal to 0, and here mu upon c square minus mu upon c square is nothing but the natural frequency. Now keep this thing in mind. For g, which is function of time, the frequency is as it is, but for function of x, it is mu by c. Now we have seen these two equations. Let us write down the solution. Gt, it is equal to a sin omega t plus, because g is a function of t, omega t plus b cos omega t, and fx, it is equal to c1 sin of omega by cx plus c2 cos of omega by cx. So sine and cos functions. So overall solution is y x t is equal to first one a sin omega t plus b cos omega t, second bracket c1 sin omega by cx plus c2 cos omega by cx. Okay, so this is the overall solution. Now let us take some boundary conditions. See, this is our main problem where the string is having both ends fixed. So the first boundary condition is y, when x 0 and time, the answer is, instead of x we have 0, so 0, f of 0, g of time, it is equal to 0, and y lt, it is equal to fl gt, it is again equal to 0. These boundary conditions are very important for the solution. Two boundary conditions. Let us put the first one, x 0 0, this will become 0. Here it is b, here sin x 0, so sin 0 is 0, but cosine 0, therefore c2 must be 0. And when we put the second boundary condition y lt, the answer is 0. Okay, so instead of x, let us put L. So c1, c2 is 0, so there is no need to look at this point. c1 sin of omega L by c, so omega L by c is equal to 0. Okay, now omega L by c for sine function, at what time it becomes 0? When the value is equal to pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, likewise we can say n number of pi, where n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, likewise. Therefore omega L by c is equal to n pi, or natural frequency is, we can write natural frequency omega L by c is n pi, or in other words natural frequency is n pi c by L. So this is the equation with the help of which we are getting natural frequency for different mode shapes. So thus we have seen natural frequency n pi c by L, and likewise the wavelength is 2L by N. Let us write down here natural frequency n pi c by L. When we put n equal to 1, it gives us first mode shape frequency. N equal to 2, frequency for the second mode shape. 3, third mode shape. 4, fourth mode shape. Likewise, we are able to find out wavelength also. Lambda equal to 2L by N. Okay. Now let us see when for the first mode shape n equal to 1, when we put natural frequency value is but obviously pi by L, C is square root. So the tension by rho, or we can write C. The first mode shape is like this. It shows that string is moving in the xy plane only, vertically up and down, up and down. Okay. Now for the second mode shape. Second mode. The wavelength is, when we put n equal to 2, wavelength L, lambda is equal to 2L by 2, it is equal to L, and it is like this, and its natural frequency is, by using this equation, 2 pi c by L. For third mode shape, n equal to 3, likewise we'll get 2 by 3L. 2 by 3L. So the mode shape will be like this. It is having two node points. Keep this thing in your mind. These two are the node points. Here it is, this second mode is having one node. Third mode shape is having two node points. So node points are the points where amplitude is 0. And as in all the mode shapes, consequently we will going to see that string is moving in the xy plane only. That's why they are called standing waves, because they are simply vibrating or simply moving up and down in the xy plane. Okay, so student, today we have understood the concept of transverse or lateral vibration of a string.